Where are you off to next? You fly around the place, all over the place, which is good. Where's your next trip going to be, Danny? Have you ever been to Phuket or Thailand? Hello, Buttercup. Beautiful place, Thailand. They're really friendly. And yes, they're after your tourist dollar, but they are genuinely happy people. You can spend a week or 10 days in a luxury resort, you know, all the wing bangs and ding dangs, massages and all that. Flights all included, probably $1,400 each. And you get the best of everything. Hello, welcome back, VMAC. You have power for the moment. Now, we love Thailand. I am sitting put for a while. I have never been out of the state. Never been out of the States. The furthest from the mainland that I have been is when I lived in Hawaii. Oahu. Well, you have to come to Australia. You think you're in Texas. But don't come in summer, Danny. Just a tip. I'd love to take anyone that came over here, we'd certainly take around and show you a few things. Australia is enormous. Someone often asks me this question.
You get that chair up.
Yep. Please. You need something softer for your bottom, yes?
Yeah. What's your phone?
Turn around so they can see you.
No.
Yes.
I'm going to the toilet in a minute.
Well, they don't need to see that.
That
They really don't need to see that. There we go. We can do that. What did you say, Danny? She's confused.
What?
Call her, you're not calling her by a code name.
I'm not sure I didn't probably. Yeah, good morning again, VMAC.
Yes, we love Ireland. It's beautiful. You'll love it. Give yourself at least a couple of weeks. We've got a family friend, fairly young lass, but she's probably going to be buying an island, isn't she?
Not an island. She's not buying an island.
In Ireland,
oh,
I
yeah,
said.
yeah.
Your spelling's atrocious, but your hearing's worse. Going to get one of those, you know, things you stick in your ear like a big funnel. Are you there, dear? But Ireland is beautiful. You'd be welcome. But I was starting to say, people ask me often over the years, what amount of time should I put aside to see Australia? It'd be like saying, how much time would you set aside to see the United States? We're the same damn size.
Oh, it's cold up
But
here.
there's a lot of easy access things that are very Australian. Like I would take, if Danny came down, I would take them down to Kahuna Park, which is a walk in amongst the animal park. Pick up the koalas, pat the kangaroos.
That's definitely where you'd have to take Buttercup to.
Yeah, she'd love that. Well, we've got plenty of rooms, as you have seen. There's no problem. But I always think, whenever we go to another country, I try and go where the locals go, because then you truly do get an understanding of the country. If you just go to tourist spots, you might as well stay home. Do you know what I mean?
Now I want to see more than Toronto, VMAC.
Well, we've got to go to Toronto because there's a friend of ours we need to catch up with.
Yeah, we have to go there.
But we're going to do the hop, skip and a jump and short airplane flights in Canada.
Hang on, who's in Toronto?
Well, that's probably where Dive will pick us up.
Oh.
And he'll abscond us for probably 4 or 5 days, which is fine. Looking to see his garden. He's got a huge indoor
and his
garden.
Rabbit that doesn't like seeds, his voice.
Bet you when you get the rabbit just jumps on your lap.
Yeah.
But see, I mean, I've always been amazed. People have told me, like, if they flew from Texas to Australia and back, there's some astronomical prices. I can literally fly to Dallas if I went in cattle class and back for probably under 1,000 Australian dollars. Now, I spoke to Texans, they said that's just not going to happen. 3,000 or 4,000, they reckon, and I'm thinking, why is there such a difference? Am I going coast to coast? No, I don't need to see the west coast of the United States. They tell me it's full of white sand and ocean. I've got plenty of that here. The northeast is probably the main area, and we'll be coming home through Texas, and then we can get a flight from Texas to Singapore and then Singapore back to Perth. You can actually fly nearly direct to Texas from many parts of the world. I just can't do it. I'm 6'5", I can't do cattle class. Yeah, no, again, it's just too far. It's like you coming here, VMAC. If you went from west to east, you know, it's 4,500 kilometres.
We,
It's like,
might have to
I've driven it several times.
Might have to do a couple of trips, but yeah, I don't really want to stay away months on end.
No. We'll get one of the family members to move in while we're away, and that's not an issue. And we're going to do a few other little trips, like to do another boat cruise. Would love to go back to Thailand. Would love to go back to Ireland. I've got my heart on architecture. Most of the regional architecture in Canada is really on the east coast. That's where they first settled. Yeah, it's one of those funny things, Buttercup. No matter where you go, you're thinking, as you're flying home, you're thinking, I'm looking forward to my bed and my toilet
That's
and
right.
my kitchen. Just things that you're familiar with. It's like, hello, Push Push. There's Ginger there. See him?
Hey, Puss Puss, he looks like he's got skinnier.
Yeah, it looks like it. Mind you, it's been a pretty lean summer.
Well, if
He's
you
a
come,
wildcat, so
Puss Puss, if you come up here, I'd feed him.
he'll be down there in a second. Yours goes right up the road.
Put food down. The problem is that he doesn't get it all. I can't. I've got to be
I mean,
careful
to
doing that.
do justice in Canada, you'd need 2 months,
Easy.
and you still wouldn't see everything in Canada. Yeah, no, we'll let you know, Dan. I'd love to catch up. Well, as long as I'm not going to the books, it's positive, I should be okay.
As long as you what?
Danny knows what I'm talking about. Going to the book suppository, 3rd floor, 5th window. I like to get a flavour, and that only comes through the people. Places you go are interesting, and the scenery does change around the planet, there's no question. That's right, third floor. Wasn't me. Come on, Danny, I would have been 4 years old. I could hardly lift a rifle. I've been framed. But it's the flavour of the people that make it interesting, and the architecture, because both speak volumes.
Oh, yeah, that's what
The architecture
like,
tells you what was, and the people will tell you what is.
Museums. You can take me to a museum. Every place we go, I want to see what their local museum is.
I think it was about 1967 I went to the British Museum as a boy, and I was fascinated, unbelievable. But it's much bigger today.
Mac will take us to a museum and she'll leave you there.
Yes, Exhibit A. Australiatus. The food makes a country as well. There's a certain flavour in countries for food, but it's the people.
Cranky kill. Oh, they can't be any worse than the Germans, BMAC.
Yeah.
It's probably just them.
We've met a lot of Canadians, and at first they're reserved. But as soon as you get to know them, the giggles come out. We met a couple of ladies. I think one was 67 and one was about nearly 70, wasn't she? But they love travelling. They travel together. And they were quite reserved at first. But when we got to know them, they're like, blah, 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 blah. They were good fun to be with.
Yeah, they're the ones that live at Thunder Bay. I remembered it this time.
Thunder Bay, VMAC.
I'm sure that's right.
Just up the road from you. Hope to catch up with them too when we're over there.
Yeah.
No, I suppose the word is weary at first. Strangers. Everyone, if you live in a local area and when you see two Aussies rock up, you go, what are they doing here? They're trying to invade Canada? Are they? Are they trying to kidnap Trudeau? Please, take him.
It's third province away. How big is a province?
Big. Provinces are like states.
Oh, are they?
Mm.
Oh.
Schellkopf.
So I can understand.
Das ist funny, Kinder.
I can understand and speak German, and I can read a little. I can read the Kopf bit. What's the first word? Kopf is head.
Shell. Shithead. That's what she's telling you. Your mother was so kind.
Scheiß.
Shithead.
Scheißkopf.
Shithead.
Yeah, I just read it. It's the way you spelt it.
Scheißen.
Scheißkopf.
Das ist funny, Kinder.
It's like I laughed the first time I saw the word Schwarzkopf. I thought, do people really realise what that's transferred into exactly?
You know, the funny thing, mate, wherever we've been in the world, there are always Aussies. It's like half of our population is never in this country. Well, Kopf is another word for story too.
Huh?
Kopf, like Hitler wrote Mein Kopf. But it is shithead. Of course, you didn't know that as a kid. You said, oh, my mum's got such an endearing name for me.
Yeah, actually there is a lot of young Aussies that do go to Canada, that's true. So we wouldn't be out of place when we went there.
Germany's nice. People are very friendly. Irish people are, I mean, it's probably because they're so similar to Aussies, and friendly and relaxed and couldn't do enough for you, that you're going there, Danny, so you'll see what I mean when you get there. They're very colourful people as well.
Who's going to Germany? Danny.
No, Danny's going to Ireland.
Oh, Danny's going to Ireland. Oh.
This is the first big step out of the United States.
I must have missed that. When are you going? When is she going? Oh.
My name is Scheitskopf.
And some of the words, it's like, I don't know, when Mum was still alive. I don't know how the word came about. I was doing something, or I was asking Mum something, and she said the word Bubba-Deckel. And I thought, I love that name. That's so cute. So I started calling my dad Bubba-Deckel. Then she said, you know what it means? I said, no. She said, cardboard.
Hello, Father, you cardboard piece. But you do, I'm sure everyone has the same ability. It takes you a few days, and there are so many common words repeated that you get to pick them up. Thailand's the same. No, you struggled, didn't you?
I think I was just being lazy.
Yeah,
I just
probably.
sort of was being lazy of trying to learn the language or remember to say it correct. Because the man says a certain word after everything he says, and then the woman's word is different, and you've got to say these words after everything you say.
But that's similar in different countries
And I
for
think,
different words.
to be honest, I think
For
I
male
was
and
just
female.
a bit lazy of trying to remember what
Like-
I had to say after every sentence.
A greeting from a male to whoever is Sawadee Krap, and for a female it's Sawadee.
Ka.
Well, you can say Ka if you want to, but Sawadee is good enough. But it's Ka and Krap, male and female. But the food was superb in Thailand. I don't think we had a bad meal, did we?
No, but there was one meal that I sort of got hooked on, and that pineapple drink. But each place we went to did make it a bit different.
Oh, the fruit is superb in Thailand. You haven't tasted fruit until you've been in Thailand. In Vietnam, we've been there, the people were really friendly. It's funny, some people from countries will go to a Western country and they just seem a little bit harsher. I don't know why, but you go to their country and the people are very friendly. All around the world, people are friendly, as a rule. Big cities, not so much. Go to London, you might as well be in Dallas, Danny, to tell you the truth. You see the same people wearing the same suits, same clothing. All of them would run over you without looking at you. Big cities breed people like that. You can't take the city out of people if they're born and bred there.
Actually, London wasn't too bad.
Well, it really boiled down to that English was a minority language in London. Which is fine. I've got no problem with that. Yeah, they have a word for it in Thailand, Buttercup. I forget what it is. I did get told what it is, but it's like the word serene, but it's like life's not that important. Enjoy each day. There's a saying that they have in Thailand. Because most are Buddhists, so, and some of the temples are just breathtaking. You have to go on some errands. I look forward to a trip together to Australia. Have a blessed evening, day or morning, wherever you are. Peace and love to all. Love, Fanny.
See you, Fanny. So that's
Fanny.
New nickname now, Danny. Everybody gets a nickname for us.
I can tell you, you're both most welcome. We will pick you up from the airport if you need a vehicle. I know we'll let Buttercup drive because she knows what the left-hand side of the road's all about. Danny can be a passenger if she wants to. She can risk it. But even our city of Perth, there's so much to see here, if you like cities, but ours is a bit different. There is green everywhere. We've got all different ethnicities. You got like Chinatowns. We got Chinatowns. Korean food, Japanese food, you name it, we got it. We just when we take the kids out to that German restaurant, probably about
a couple
six,
of months ago.
Well, it might be longer.
No, it wasn't that long ago.
There was 2, 4, 6, 8, I think 9 of us. We all ate and drank like you couldn't imagine, and the food was superb. It was only $400, and we ate like kings. Trust me.
Yeah, there was 8 of us. What'd you say we paid?
About 400.
Yeah.
That was including drinks, though.
That was but then you think where we had your birthday. How many was
200.
There? No, it was 4.
4 for, there was a lot more though. There was probably
That's what I'm
15,
saying.
16
Just the
people.
comparison, the difference of going to a.
The German food was
nice.
You name it. Lots of pork.
It was
Crackling.
Yeah. And that's because
if two of you went out, if we take Buttercup and Danny out for dinner, a nice place, not
McDonald's.
don't have to wear a suit,
Go to McDonald's.
but $300 would disappear without much trouble. But you'd have a good night. We can go for picnics. Take them to a few animal parks they love, I'm sure. I know one thing still fascinates tourists here is kangaroos. They still can't get over that this thing can.
Koalas.
Yeah,
And the platypus.
Yeah, there's lots of different animals. Crocodiles, sharks. Want to go swimming when you're here, Buttercup?
They're not interested.
I'll take you diving. I can dive.
They're not interested in those things.
You'll love our seafood. Yep, like I say, it's the people that make anything, travelling or going out, an event. It is formulating a memory bond. That's the psychology behind it. It's true. Shared experiences tie your memory in with the people you were with. I'll make sure I lose weight. Why? I've seen a picture of you, Buttercup. We're talking, whew.
But the amount
You might
of
not leave the
walking
country.
that will make you do, it'll counteract it, so don't worry.
I think people do that a lot, though. I've never done that, but people go, "Oh, I'm going on a trip to lose 30 pounds and buy some new clothes," and they go and they come back and they put on the 30 pounds straight away. Yes, you get as much seafood as you like.
We did a lot of walking while we were away, a lot, and and I put on 3 kilos. If we hadn't have walked as much as we did, I reckon I would have put on 10.
I think the first day we walked about 20 miles through London. It was great, though. We were so enthralled with the history and the buildings, and they got these funny pods on the Thames. I'm trying to remember where they were, where people sit in like a restaurant with a big dome over them.
It was right near the, what's the name?
Individual
bridge.
dome
Yeah.
rooms, if you like.
They were booked out or we would have gone in one. That was right near the bridge.
No, I know, it was before the bridge.
Yeah, you could sit in them and see the bridge.
Yeah, walking. I mean, we used to live in Mandurah, where Mel lives now, and we'd walk at least every second day, 5 or 6 kilometres. Beautiful to see, though. You got dolphins, people, and parks, and dogs. And
Actually, been a bit slack walking this year.
well, we've
Apart from the
been
holiday.
really busy, so and you can't walk in this heat. It's too hot. When we did walk, we'd walk late in the evening or early in the mornings.
My phone,
The world is not that big. It would have been 200 years ago, enormous. But today, if so decided I wanted to catch up with Buttercup, I could see her within 24 hours or less.
What's that?
if we wanted to catch up with Buttercup, we'd see her within 24 hours. We can fly direct to London, takes 16 hours in Qantas. So 8 hours to get from Heathrow to Wales is not a problem. And we'd bring all the kids round to see the puppy dogs. And we'll have dogs by then too. Be about 4 weeks after Buttercup gets here, we knock on the door saying, "We've got to take you to the airport." She says, "I'm not coming out, I'm staying here." No, the world is not big. You find in life that when you can be with people that you're totally relaxed with, there's not many that you'll come into your life like that. There's a few, but it's something that gels. It's not something that, you know, some people say, oh, it takes 10, 20 years to know somebody. It really doesn't. You have this, I don't know what it is, the physiology of each other clicks, doesn't it? You meet someone, you think, yep.
It should chain itself to the shower head.
Yeah. But you will have a bit of chocolate on a folded sheet when you enter the room. Probably a small glass of bubbly, chilled. Fresh towels.
Oh man, do I have to give them towels?
Or you just hose them down, I suppose. Yeah, there's that gelling. I don't know how to describe it, but it does happen. But over time as well, it does go down that line.
That's the thing, please.
I think
You connect, like attracts like.
I know the wife picks up on it quicker than I do, but when she finds something's wrong with that person, and you can semi-sense it, but she'll be quite specific because she's an intuitive. So she picks up on it. I can tell when someone's not being who they are. I've never had the ability to be someone I'm not. And I pick that up pretty quick. I've always said, particularly like on YouTube, if people could just be themselves and be accepted, warts and all, whatever that encompasses, it would be far more pleasant for people, instead of having facades and, well, lies in some cases, because it doesn't hold.
You have to send me a picture of the dogs, Buttercup.
Yeah, wouldn't mind seeing
Before and
pictures
after.
of your dogs.
She shaved them today.
Oh, how much that cost again? 50 quid?
She did it herself.
Oh, that's all right. She bought the shears, didn't she?
So I'm going to bed.
I just realised our front yard, you know those blocks around the corner?
I know.
That's about the size of their yard,
It's
whole
that.
block.
I don't know how that's legal to sell.
I don't know.
And now you tell me all the trouble that, like, the council was saying about us veranda, whatever, so many feet. You tell me how that
Yeah,
can be legal.
well, it's like that corner house on Hardy Road.
Road frontage, yeah.
It's a corner that's just house.
I just don't get it.
Yeah, no, I don't think you're any different in real life, VMAC. I think that you would certainly size me up and down and think, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But, yeah, this Buttercup's the same. I think Danny is what we get. I think what's happening, and it's not my channel that's doing this, but like-minded people with all different types of values, we're not the same, are just naturally like a magnetic force coming together. I think that's how I can explain it. But I enjoy, even though I can't hear you, that will happen in the future.
We will never ever have another VMAC.
No, they'll have to basically tear down some of the main statues in Canada and replace it with VMAC when the time comes. Shaving is next.
Oh, I thought you clipped them today. You did that. Oh, you do their toenails as well. See, that's something I never will do. I will never do their toenails.
They've got a show in Australia at the moment. I'm sure it's not new, but it's called Pooch Perfect. They turn dogs into looking like lions with their haircuts.
And all
weird
this other
stuff.
It's a show just for that. Yeah, you coexist, that's right.
Yeah, I think what happens is because you are a force to reckon with, VMAC, is that being dismissed makes the channel owner look foolish. So they tolerate your directness because they will look a bit silly blocking you, if you get what I mean.
Oh, VMAC gets blocked, don't you, VMAC? I must follow her sometime into the Bigfoot channels. Just so I can watch.
Yeah, one of the things that I know Buttercup does, Danny doesn't do it. She's very different in that way. But VMAC does it, and I do it. We turn the mirror on the person involved. Otherwise, we say, that's what you are. You know, no point having a go at me because of your behaviours. VMAC does it, Buttercup does it. A few other people that come here do it as well. And that's a good thing. Criticism, even though no one likes it, if it's valid based on behaviour, I will always put a mirror up saying, well, that's what you're doing. You have many, many VMACs. It's like a Trojan army. No, I only have one Seeds to Freedom. I get blocked. I don't know if I'm ever blocked anywhere, but if I do get blocked, okay.
I think, aren't you blocked on...
I don't know where I'm blocked, because I don't go anywhere now.
Yeah, aren't you blocked on Tiny Tim's channel?
Who's Tiny Tim?
That's what I call Elbow.
I don't know, because I don't write in there. I pop in every now and then, have a bit of a giggle thinking, Groundhog Day again. Wax on. Wax off. This is my content. Wax on. Wax off. Well, one thing I do like watching documentaries about facts. I don't mind a story, like watching a few shows that aren't fact, they're fiction, but they're fun to watch.
Yeah, as long as they're interesting.
But I have just got a habit in the last couple of years where I won't waste my time. I will not argue with you. It's not going to happen. You keep arguing by yourself.
I don't believe that, Buttercup. I could be wrong. Shouldn't judge. I know, but I don't believe it. Hey, VMAC, you got Netflix? Or Buttercup, do you have Netflix? I was going to tell you this. It's a B grade, but it's sucked me in, called The Gift. I've been watching.
I'll spell it, just in case you didn't understand her interpretation. G-I-F-T. Gift.
Yeah.
On Netflix. Sort of mystical, could be aliens, not aliens,
Not
could be
aliens.
something to do with religion, maybe
It's
not.
more- yeah,
It's got little bits of confusion thrown in throughout.
Yeah, it's a bit B grade, but it's fun to watch.
Now, I used to venture into that channel and I just surmised very quickly that they're just people that want to have conflict and want to have a target Doesn't matter what target it is, as long as there's a target involved. Hello, Leroy. Another person that's very direct and tells people by reflecting their behaviour back at them, and then Leroy gets attacked. But if Leroy's anything like me, he doesn't give a damn.
Secret president of the Bigfoot community.
Yes. She's probably got size 15-inch feet. That's what it is. She doesn't need a surfboard. Just puts one foot in front of the other. I saw that. We haven't bothered looking at it yet.
I probably wouldn't watch it. I'm
Don't
not
like
into
scary.
horror.
Actually, your sister would watch it with one hand over one eye.
Yeah, my sister.
I don't want to see it, but I want to see it. Don't want to see it.
She loves horror, my sister. Absolutely loves horror. But sits there or put a hand in front of her face and say, "What's happening?"
And she also loves those stupid Japanese or Korean shows that they get people to do crazy things. She just cackles. She just loves it. Yes, life is far too short to be fighting with people. But like I say, the drama community, which I vaguely entered and left, you can see it's the repetition of the same conflict. Doesn't matter what channel you go to, they will argue and hate upon others. But the next very month, those that have been fighting constantly, cursing and threats of death, are now best friends.
Yeah, I don't get
that. You could bundle them all into one show called The Pretentious Life. If you wanted to psychologically review that, The Pretentious Life, is because their real lives are crap. Very sad, but it was, BMAC, it's not something that just occurred. It was well planned and executed and can fool some of the people for some of the time. I did sit on a panel of his probably about a year ago. And he was saying how, if ever he resorted to having a channel that would be talking derogatory about other people and asking for money, his words were, "Just shoot me." All the time planning to be where he is today. No, people like that I walk away from, VMAC. It's not a punishment from me to him. It's my observations that have come to my conclusion that I don't want to be there. I'm very keen on sitting back and listening. Even though all I'm doing is talking now. But in real life, I will sit back and listen to what people say and do, and I am cursed. Believe me, I am cursed with a photogenic memory.
Sometimes.
Except when she says, "Have you cleaned the dishes?" But people who change the narrative to suit an agenda, you can say whatever you like about it, but it means a string of lies to get to a position. You know, people will use the words like, I own my shit. You've all heard this. I own my shit. Which means, please, now that I've said I own my shit, you can forgive me and we can start from ground zero again. I am a totally different person. No. People that say to you, I own my shit, are full of shit. Period. No matter what narrative they want you to believe. But narratives are created to get to their agenda. That's all it is. And they will change the script to suit their agenda. You've all seen it. And then people say, I reserve the right to change my mind. No, you're not saying that. What you're saying is you've reserved the right to change your story to suit a new agenda.
Do I smell rain?
He is such a sad character when you think about it, Buttercup. There would be no one, even I don't like, would I wish they had a life like that. It is pure misery. There is no joy. I don't think in all of the time that I did watch him, did he laugh? Did he smile? It's pure misery. And it is really like a lot of people watching a burning building. They'll stay there until the building is burnt to the ground and there's just smoke. They might the next day come back and have a look, see what happened. But like the burning building, his building is just about finished. And in a way, it's probably a good thing. The old saying about reality bites. Maybe things will change. His habits won't change. His behaviour won't change. Just his circumstances. So he may have to curb his behaviour to get some things that he can't do otherwise. I don't know what sort of money he'd be earning, but I doubt it's very much at all. Yes, I've seen them. There's 3 or 4 sets of them. These trees go back millions of years. There's a ravine in the Blue Mountains. I know that one was protected. These trees are something that you've never seen. They are ancient trees. Some of the trees are supposed to be thousands and thousands of years old. They're weird-looking trees, and they've grown in a particular area, not just in one area, there's several areas, but one area where they are secluded from normal environment. They're shaded more, there's water all the time, even underground at least for them. So if you Google ancient trees, you've probably heard the media say dinosaur trees, because they're saying they go back that far. I don't think they do. I don't think they're 90 million years old, but they're certainly trees from an ancient time. So if you looked up ancient trees, Australia, you'll come across one in the Blue Mountains.
Aren't they trying to propagate more?
They apparently won't grow unless it's that absolute environment that these ones are in.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's what they're trying to do.
I mean, it's the same all around the world. We have species that become extinct. But we find more new species in Australia every month than we lose. But that's a natural cycle of the planet. Species do become extinct and new ones evolve. Well, the oldest tree in modern times, going back thousands of years, is the oak and different variants of oak trees. They have a longevity. We've got the Jarrah floorboards that are going down in our house will have come from trees over 300 years old, at least. So it's ancient hardwood. And they'll stop making it in the next few years because it is becoming rare. Like I say, imagine trying to wait 300 years to get an investment back. A lot of our native hardwoods are named with Aboriginal names, like Jarrah is an Aboriginal term. There's Marri, Carri. So colloquially, the language that was used to describe them is what they are called. Scientifically, they're called differently, but the colloquial names are for what Aboriginals call them. Yes, we're going to call it a night shortly. Are you cold?
Yeah, I've got to get my phone.
How funny, you won't hear this much in the next few weeks, but she's cold tonight.
And I've got to get my phone on the charger.
Good catching up with you guys. Good to see you, Leroy. And B-Mac, and Buttercup, and Danny, who's gone to do stuff. And the rest of you who popped in and popped out. Good to see you. And we shall all hopefully meet again in the same cave next to the dinosaur trees.
Yep.
When no one can find us.
Where all the animals in Australia and plant life try and kill you.
But have you noticed that on this channel, which is a wee little channel, none of the e-beggars come here? Can you imagine with V-Mac in the room, Leroy, Buttercup, and me, several e-beggars coming in saying, hello? It will never happen. Have a great day.